Everyone gets a little annoyed when their dog is constantly pulling. At least I think everybody does. If you don't mind an 80-pound dog pulling against you, you might be a little crazy. I'm sure you're not crazy happy about this anyways because you're watching this video. So I'm gonna help you overcome your dog's leash pulling. Subscribe now and hit that bell so that you hear when new videos just like this one come out. If you read the full title of this video, which some of you might have not, but that is completely okay, it says that this is a 3-part series. Why would I do that? I felt like if I gave you everything in one video, you might not remember it all, and then your dog would miss something that's important to his loose leash walking training. Or you might just go too fast, which we're all guilty of it. I've done it too. So with all that said, I sure do hope that you stick with me in these next several weeks as I go over how to teach your dog loose leash walking. With all that said, I think it is time to get to it. In this video, which is part 1 of this series, we're going to focus on what we call pivoting. This will teach your dog what the reinforcement zone is, which is the place that you want him to hang out most when he's on a loose leash. This would of course be right by your side. Now, loose leash walking doesn't necessarily have to be right by your side, but it's the spot that your dog's leash is loosest. So we're gonna reinforce that. We're gonna teach our dogs that if the leash is loose, then they can move forward. But if they're in the reinforcement zone, they have a chance to earn a reward as well. Make sense? So like I was saying before, we're gonna start with pivoting. You're gonna need a clicker, a bag of treats, and some sort of target. Your target's gonna have to be really wide, but really short. You're gonna wanna make it big enough that it's almost impossible for your dog not to want to step on it. Anyways, we're gonna shape our dogs to get onto it. So set the target on the ground, which I typically use a big book, but you can use whatever you can find. And click and reward them for any interaction, and then slowly work your way up until your dog has both of his front feet on the book or whatever you chose. Then after your dog consistently puts his front feet on the book, you can start to shrink the width of your target until you can just barely fit your dog's front feet on it. This part should go pretty smooth. The next step is to move your hand to your dog's side, like almost touching his shoulder. If your dog doesn't know how to target your hand already, I'll have a link up here as well as one in the description. At first, you want to reward smaller movements, but then you'll be able to work up to larger movements. The goal is for your dog's front feet to stay in practically the same spot and their back feet to make a large circle around the book that they're targeting with their front feet. If your dog does know how to target, but for some reason won't while on the book, that is okay. You can try stepping gently towards your dog, and typically they'll shift slightly away. And then you can build up from there. Practice your dog spinning on both sides. I'm gonna say right now that every single dog has a side that is harder for them. So go slower so that they can build up flexibility and strength in that side. So now you have a dog that can spin on the book either way. I wanna say right now that you should be standing in a spot where your dog ends up on one side of you each time he spins. This is because we're practicing for loose leash walking. This will be useful for if you're walking down the sidewalk and someone or something is coming towards you and you want your dog to switch sides so that you're in between your dog and the other person or thing coming towards you. This just keeps your dog safer. Isn't that neat? At this point, you should be able to fade the book target and then teach them their cue. I like to use side if I want them to end up on my left, and heel if I want them to end up on my right. Heel. Good. Nice. Ready? Side. Good girl. After they respond consistently to each of your cues, you can fade your hand target. And that's it. Please remember to come back for the next video in this series. Have a wonderful day, guys.